Hey guys, and welcome back to the Artificial DM. So, I wanted to change it up a little bit and read some Greentext. You know, being as 4chan is a trove of great stories. So, this one is actually fairly new. I actually found it on Reddit, so you can hold that against me if you want. Anyway, let's jump into it. Anon is sick of local lords and railroads. That face when you play in a campaign filled with completely unironic local lords. My life is pure suffering. Storytime, OP, or it didn't happen. Get hired to go on a quest to escort a guy through half the world back to our quest giver. Make a stop in the first town. The town is being besieged by werewolves. We're checked for bites and subjected to silver test. So far so good. In order to take a shortcut, have to get permission from the local lord to go through his mountain pass. Have to bribe his castellan with riches in order to get the audience. Go on a side quest to get those riches. Return, bribe the castellan, specifically tell the DM that we use what little money we have left to go to the bathhouse. Visit the local lord right after. Local lord says that we stink like death and look like murder hobos. Hey, DM, what's the deal? We said we washed ourselves. Well, you didn't say you changed your clothes, so your character's dressed in their old, stinking clothes. The local lord asks us why should he let lowlives like us use his mountain pass. Tell him we're adventurers, and he has a werewolf problem. Our cleric has removed curse. Maybe that will help? Local lord sneers and says he has no need for heathen magic when he has his own court mage that can deal with the problem on his own. After insulting us thoroughly, the local lord tells us to GTFO from his town and graciously permits us to use the mountain pass to do it. We begin suspecting he might be a werewolf in disguise, but that theory is debunked immediately when the town is attacked by werewolves next day, and we see the local lord fight them personally. Help him defend the town. Local lord asks us to not pollute his land with adventurer stink and leave. What a strange guy. Well, surely he was just one whole noble, and there won't be any others. Right? Wrong. Go through the mountain pass. Keep traveling through the road until we're ambushed by werewolves. The cleric cast remove curse on them, which makes them human. 2 turn out to be crazy cultists, but 1 is a peasant woman they've bitten. Promise to escort her until her home village. Continue the path down the road until the DM describes how we see crossbows peeking out of the bushes. Suddenly, armed and armored men jump out and command us to drop our weapons. We tell them to go flute themselves. They say they'll attack if we don't disarm. Yeah, like we're disarming for obvious bandits. Roll for initiative. It's a bloody battle, but eventually we win. The last man standing says we'll hang for assaulting the men of the other local lord. Wait, you're men at arms? Not bandits? Then why did you ambush us from the bushes? We needed you to disarm to submit to the bite check. Werewolves prowl here. And why didn't you tell us that? Also, where is your uniform? Or anything that might signal us you're soldiers? He shows us a tiny insignia on his armor that we had no way of noticing. Then, he perishes. The peasant woman leaves us in disgust because we're crazed butchers. How she plans to survive on her own in a werewolf-infested land, she won't tell us. Huh, I guess lowborn people are bunts too. Well, let's just continue on our quest. Surely it can only get better from here. Have to take a shortcut through another mountain range to get to our target, but this one is an ancient dwarven city. To those expecting the story about dwarves being dicks too, no. The city is inhabited only by monsters. Unironically, the best part of the campaign. 3 to 4 levels of nothing but pure hack and slash. Not a single NPC in sight to call us unwashed murder hobos. The good news is, when we leave it on level 9, a very respectable level. Our casters can do all sorts of magic now, like resurrecting the dead. The bad news is, we can't stay in the dungeon forever, and eventually we do leave. Get to the town where our target lives. Zoinks! Despite us taking every shortcut imaginable, the werewolves, who turn out to have some sort of vendetta against us, got into the city first. He dies a horrible, horrible death. Attempts to resurrect him fail. Have to bring our employer the bad news. I'm sure he'll be reasonable. He doesn't turn out to be reasonable. Calls us incompetent buffoons. You know what? We're level 10 now. We don't have to take this sort of crap. Hey, asshole. If you're so great, why didn't you do this yourself? 2 of 5 party members call the quest giver out on his crap. The other 3 stay silent. Wisely stay silent. Because his 20 guards, who are present in the room, all have crossbows and a surprise round. Which, I've later found out, is not even a thing in this game. With their multiple attacks and a plus 10 attack bonus, they easily kill the complainers. Leave the town without the reward. Okay, that sucked. But there will be a different quest. And you know what? I feel like becoming a local lord myself. But there's not. Here there is a new frontier opening in the distant north. All sorts of men are needed. When we arrive, we find out terrible news. Local lord has been kidnapped, and bandits rule the countryside. Did I say terrible? This is great news. We'll become local heroes, save the lord, and he'll reward us. Do exactly that. He does reward us with knighthood. Each of us is recognized for his valor. Now that we're knights, we're basically nobility, and a lot of career paths are open to us now. The fighter mentions he was already a noble. Wait, you were a noble this whole time? Didn't hide it, and we were still treated like crap? Doesn't matter. We're knights now. And now that we're knights, we have certain obligations to our liege lord. Our liege lord has heard that there's a dragon living nearby, with a huge hoard. He wants these treasures for his, well, our, new land. Slaying a dragon is no small undertaking. We best prepare. Need to ask villagers about what size it is, what color. What? He never troubled this land before? Well, if he's an evil dragon, he must have troubled some other land, whatever. Let's ask the local prophet if he has any weakness. The prophet grants us a vision where the dragon was literally fighting a demon invasion 1,000 years ago and lost his wings in combat. So we're given a quest to rob the house of a disabled war vet. The DM can't hide his amusement at this point and says that normally the hero slays the dragon to save someone, but this story is cleverly about killing a dragon for his riches because the heroes are greedy bastards. Ask the DM if we get any agency in the matter, because no one really wants to rob this guy. We don't. Invade the dragon's lair, defeat him, and mercifully let him keep half his hoard, as he calls us names, and, rightfully, points out that we're robbing him. No moral high ground, but we do have the treasure. Nothing will take that away from us. Yes, I guess we must accumulate power. Speaking of power, amongst the dragon's treasures, find the Goblet of Divine Truth. The legend is, it has the echo of the creator in it, and if you collect 3 of them, you get to reshape the world to your liking. Holy crap, this is it? This is our big break? We must collect all 3 of those, and then we will finally get some justice? Turns out, we're not the only ones to get this idea. The evil powers, who somehow never troubled the dragon, attack us for the possession of the goblet. Defeat them and chase them off, but the local lord does have some questions about who were those guys and what did they want. Make the mistake of mentioning the goblet. The local lord calls us idiots for dragging this thing with us and declares that from now on it will be stored in his fief for safekeeping purposes. The paladin steps out and says a firm no. The local lord reminds the paladin about the chain of command and how as a knight he must obey. This is not how feudal contracts work, Toll, and the goblet is mine. I mean ours. Local lord orders the paladin's arrest. Remembering how it went last time, none of us, including the paladin, try to resist. The goblet is taken from us, and the paladin is eventually let go, after being stripped of all of his lands and titles. We lament how we saved this man, and this man's family, from bandits, brought order to his land, and robbed a disabled war veteran for him, and this is the thanks we get? Should have known better. I really want to get away from this guy, and this new frontier. You know, our noble fighter just received an invitation from his father. Something about the crisis of the royal succession? Do you think we should go, guys? Too late, we're going. Visit the father of the noble PC, the local lord, not to be confused with every local lord before that. He treats us like servants, but promises that we will all bask in riches if we follow his plan. The king is dead, with no heirs. One of the two noble families that are ruling the kingdom during the interregnum. To do that, we must head to the capital. Do just that. Immediately upon arriving, we find out the plot returned to good old werewolves, cultists, goblets, and dark powers. Cultists are summoning an eldritch god near the capital or whatever. Whole kingdom is under the threat of ruin, and only we are bad enough to put a stop to the apocalypse. Go and do it or whatever. Imprisoned by the cultists, we find the old king who didn't die at all, in a surprising twist. The fighters suggest finishing him off and pretending we've never met him, so we can go along with the old plan. An archmage with an army materializes out of nowhere, and asks him if he wants to repeat what he just said. Left in single digits hit points each, we reconsider. The king returns to power, and we're all summoned by his council, 2 representatives of the ruling families until now, and an old priest. Our buttocks clenched, as they didn't tell us we'll be rewarded for our heroism. Each of us will become a lord, and will be granted land, specifically this land. Wait a minute, says Fighter. This is my ancestral land. It's already mine. Sucks to be you. We politely refuse. The council politely asks us to never show our faces in this city again, or else. Monk grabs his weapon, but the DM starts describing the armor on the royal guards, and we just give up and stop. On our way out, the old priest from the council, who never said a word this entire time, chases us down. He wants to say some words of wisdom as we part ways. Are you ready to hear how the story ends, TG? It's been a long and strange journey up until this point. From caravan guards we have become knights, then disgraced knights, and finally heroes and saviors of the kingdom. We have defeated a god or something, and still we found no respect or reward. But perhaps, in the old priest wisdom, we will find some peace. Don't go yet, heroes! It's true that you didn't get what you wanted this day. I'm afraid that those who sit in power are often ungrateful and quick to forget. Your victory has been stolen from you, and in time it will be forgotten that it was even you who won the day. Perhaps there will be another victory to be won another day, or perhaps your great deeds will never be truly appreciated. But look around at all these people and at this beautiful city. Look at each man who toils and lives, yet solely thanks to you. Isn't it everything what any true hero really wants? Our face when. And that is the story of Lords and Railroads. When you finish a campaign and you succeed in what you set out to do, you want your characters to be given praise or rewards, and you want a satisfying ending. Getting told, oh yeah, you guys all gotta leave now, we hate y'all, and then, oh yeah, but you saved all the characters in the DM's world. At that point, the DM probably should have just wrote a book, maybe? So, what did you think of Anand's story? Go ahead and leave me a comment below letting me know what you think. If you enjoyed it, hit that thumbs up button, and if you want to hear more stories like this, don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, hope you feel inspired.